Hello and welcome to Hindi की पाठशाला. Today we shall read the lesson Dukh Ka Adhikar written by the writer Yashpal from the textbook Sparsh for Standard 9th. मनुष्यों की पोशाकें उन्हें विभिन्न श्रेणियों में बांट देती है. A person's clothes divides people into various categories. प्रायः पोशाक ही समाज में मनुष्य का अधिकार और उसका दर्जा निश्चित करती है. In fact, it is a person's clothes that decide a person's status in society and his rights and responsibilities. वो हमारे लिए अनेक बंद दरवाजे खोल देती है, परंतु कभी ऐसी भी परिस्थिति आ जाती है कि हम ज़रा नीचे झुककर समाज की निचली श्रेणियों की अनुभूति को समझना चाहते हैं. Clothes actually open several doors to us in our life opportunities, but there are times when we feel that these clothes are a barrier for us in order to understand and sympathize with people from societies below our status. उस समय ये पोशाक ही बंधन और अड़चन बन जाती है. At that time, the same costume or dress that we are wearing becomes a hurdle between us and the other society people. जैसे वायु की लहरें कटी हुई पतंग को सहसा भूमि पर नहीं गिर जाने देती, उसी तरह खास परिस्थितियों में हमारी पोशाक हमें झुक सकने से रोके रहती है. You know, just whenever a kite is cut off from its string, the kite does not fall to the earth immediately. It is the wind that carries the kite some distance away before allowing it to come down to the earth. So just like that, in some situations, our dress or our clothing prevents us from bending down in order to understand the earth or its societies better. बाजार में फुटपाथ पर कुछ खरबूजे डलिया में और कुछ ज़मीन पर बिक्री के लिए रखे जान पड़ते थे. In a market on the footpath there were some melons kept inside a basket and some were arranged outside the basket in order to sell them. खरबूजों के समीप एक अधेड़ उम्र की औरत बैठे रो रही थी. Just near the basket of melons was a woman who was past her middle age. In fact, she could be called old, and she was sitting crying. खरबूजे बिक्री के लिए थे, परंतु उन्हें खरीदने के लिए कोई कैसे आगे बढ़ता? Now these melons were obviously for sale, but how could anyone come forward and buy them? खरबूजों को बेचने वाली तो कपड़े से मुंह छिपाए सर को घुटनों पर रखे फफक कर रो रही थी. The woman who had come to sell these melons had covered her head, had covered her face, and had buried her head between her knees and was sobbing continuously. She was obviously in grief. पड़ोस की दुकानों के तख्तों पर बैठे या बाजार में खड़े लोग घृणा से उसी स्त्री के संबंध में बात कर रहे थे. There were some shops beside the footpath, and the people who were owners of the shop or those who were shopping in those shops or some people who were just standing by in the bazaar were looking at the woman with scorn, and they were talking about her. They were talking bad things about her. They were scandalizing her. उस स्त्री का रोना देखकर मन में एक व्यथा सी उठी, पर उसके रोने का कारण जानने का उपाय क्या था? The writer is saying here that when he saw the woman, he felt her pain, and he wanted to know what was the reason why she was crying. But what was the use? फुटपाथ पर उसके समीप बैठ सकने में मेरी पोशाक ही व्यवधान बन खड़ी हो गई. The writer writes that he could not sit beside her on the footpath, because if he had done so, then looking at his clothes, the people would have suspected him of ulterior motives. Now, obviously, the writer was wearing better clothes, and the woman was from a poor strata of the society, from a poor family. So, if a rich man was sitting beside an old man who was on the footpath and obviously poor, then people talk bad things about her. एक आदमी ने घृणा से एक तरफ थूकते हुए कहा, क्या जमाना है, जवान लड़के को मरे पूरा दिन नहीं बीता और ये बेहया दुकान लगा के बैठी है. A man looked with scorn and spat on the side of the footpath, and he commented, what a society, what has people come to be now, what are the times. जवान लड़के को मरे पूरा दिन नहीं बीता. It's not even a day since this woman's young son died, and this shameless woman has come here to earn money. दूसरे साहब ने अपनी दाढ़ी खुजाते हुए कहा, अरे जैसी नीयत होती है अल्लाह भी वैसी ही बरकत देता है. Another person who had a beard, he scratched his beard and commented, even God or Allah gives you what you deserve. जैसी नीयत होती है अल्लाह भी वैसे ही बरकत देता है. मीन्स यू गेट वॉट यू डिजर्व. गॉड गिव्स यू वॉट यू डिजर्व ओनली. सामने के फुटपाथ पर खड़े एक आदमी ने दिया सलाई की तीली से कान खुजाते हुए कहा, अरे इन लोगों का क्या है, ये कमीने लोग रोटी के टुकड़े पर जान देते हैं. इनके लिए बेटा बेटी खसम लुगाई धर्म ईमान सब रोटी का टुकड़ा है. Another person who was standing opposite the footpath, he scratched his ears with a matchstick and then said, oh, what are these people, these are really bad people. They are so mean that they can take or give a life for a piece of bread, that is food. For them, son, daughter, husband, wife, religion and sacrilege, they have no qualms about breaking religious norms. For them everything is concerned around getting food, or roti ka tukda means a bread. परचून की दुकान पर बैठे लाला जी ने कहा, अरे भाई उनके लिए मरे जिए का कोई मतलब ना हो, पर दूसरे के धर्म ईमान का तो ख्याल रखना चाहिए. परचून की दुकान मीन्स अ शॉप विच सेल्स फ्लोर, राइस फ्लोर, wheat flour and other things. And Lalaji means actually a rich man, generally the owner of the shop. The owner of the flower shop mentioned, oh, these people don't bother anyone is dead or anyone is alive. अरे भाई उनके लिए मरे जिए का कोई मतलब ना हो, पर दूसरे के धर्म ईमान का तो ख्याल रखना चाहिए. Maybe these people don't bother about anybody's death or life, but they should at least have respect for somebody else's religious practices. जवान बेटे के मरने पर 13 दिन का सूतक होता है. When a young son dies, there is a mourning period of 13 days in which you are not supposed to go out of the house or have any festivals, celebrate any festivals, or you're not even supposed to go to work. और वो यहाँ सड़क पर बाजार में आकर खरबूजे बेचने बैठ गई. And look at this woman, she has come here in the market and she's selling melons. 1000 आदमी आते जाते हैं. There are so many people who come to the market to buy stuff. कोई क्या जानता है कि इनके घर में सूतक है. So many people will not know that there is mourning in their house. कोई इसके खरबूजे खा ले तो उसका ईमान धर्म कैसे रहेगा. If anybody unknowingly also buys these melons from her and eats them, then what will happen to his religious principles? He will be breaking his religion. He will be insulting his religion. क्या अंधेर है. Means it's all darkness. These are the dark ages. पास पड़ोस की दुकानों से पूछने पर पता लगा उसका 23 बरस का जवान लड़का था. Now the writer inquired in some shops around where the woman was sitting as to who was this woman and what was the real matter. Then he understood that that woman had a 23-year-old son. घर में उसकी बहू और पोता पोती है. The son was married, he had a wife, and also had one son and one daughter. So this woman lived with her son, her daughter-in-law, and her two grandchildren. लड़का शहर के पास 1.5 बीघा भर जमीन में कछियारी करके परिवार का निर्वाह करता था. The son used to work in a farm near the city, and it was a very small farm, 1 to 1.5 acres, and he used to plow the land and sow the seeds, and that's how he used to earn his living. खरबूजों की डलिया बाजार में पहुंचाकर लड़का कभी स्वयं सौदे के पास बैठ जाता, कभी माँ बैठ जाती. When the melons in his field were ready, he would put them in a basket and take the basket to the market himself, or sometimes even this woman used to come. His mother used to take the basket to the market in order to sell the melons and earn money. लड़का परसों सुबह मुंह अंधेरे बेलों में से पके खरबूजे चुन रहा था. Just day before yesterday, early in the morning, when the day was not fully lit up by the sunlight. It was a very early morning, so he was plucking melons from creepers in the farm. गीली मेड़ की तरावट में विश्राम करते हुए एक सांप पर लड़के का पैर पड़ गया. There was a border to his farm which was also made up of a raised a line of mud, and the mud was wet, and in one part of the mud there was a snake which was relaxing. The writer is trying to make things a bit funny here, as if it was the snake that was responsible, but what happened was that this man's foot fell on the snake and the snake bit him. सांप ने लड़के को डस लिया. डस लिया means bit him. लड़के की बुढ़िया माँ बावली होकर ओझा को बुला लाई. Now the man had actually died of snake bite, and his family was berserk with grief. Like, they were crazy, they could not understand what to do, and this man's mother was also went mad, and they didn't understand what to do. So what they did was call an ojha. Now ojha is actually a kind of a quack doctor or a witch doctor. What these ojhas do is they just collect some twigs and make a fire near the patients, and they have a broom made out of straw, which they use to blow the fire so that it glows brighter, and then they throw some like medical herbs or sometimes even some spices in order to and then the smoke is blown towards the patient, and it is believed by people that this smoke, when it went into when the man breathed this smoke, then he would get better, because the bad spirits that had entered his body would be thrown out. So that is what the ojas do. Jhadna phukna hua, the blowing of the fire. Nagdev ki puja hui. There was a prayer said to appease the god of snakes. Puja ke liye daan dakshina chahiye. Now, whenever there is a puja or any other religious function, then naturally the people who are performing it have to give some dakshina or some donation in form of money or gifts. घर में जो कुछ आटा और अनाज था दान दक्षिणा में उठ गया. When whatever flour or grains, food grains were there in the house, they were all given away in donation. They had to be given away. माँ बहू और बच्चे भगवाना से लिपट लिपट कर रोए, पर भगवाना जो एक दफे चुप हुआ तो फिर न बोला. The young man's mother, his wife, and his children hugged Bhagwana's, that was his name, Bhagwana, hugged his dead body and cried, but he did not speak up again. एक दफे चुप हुआ तो फिर न बोला means actually it's a way of saying that the person is dead, that he never spoke again. सर्प के विष से उसका सब बदन काला पड़ गया था. His entire body had become black and blue because of the poison that had spread into the body, the poison from the snake bite. जिंदा आदमी नंगा भी रह सकता है, परंतु मुर्दे को नंगा कैसे विदा किया जाए? A man who is living can also move about naked. Now this is a kind of satirical statement that the writer is making. There are several poor people in our society who don't have clothes to wear, so they go about naked. That in some way is accepted by the society, because you can't kill a man for not having clothes. So such people move about naked. परंतु मुर्दे को नंगा कैसे विदा किया जाए? But when a dead body is to be cremated, then no religion allows the body to be carried naked to the crematorium or to the cemetery for burial. So when a person dies, his body has to be covered with a cloth. If such customs are not followed, then these people are thrown out of the society, that is ostracized. The other people from the religion will not have any contact with such people who do such deeds. उसके लिए तो बजाज की दुकान से नया कपड़ा लाना ही होगा. Now, at least for the dead body, it is necessary that a white cloth or a piece of cloth should be bought from the shop. चाहे उसके लिए माँ के हाथों की छन्नी ककना ही क्यों ना बिक जाए. Even if people have to sell off their household items in order to complete this formality. So in a way, the writer is saying that for the boy's cremation, the mother's some jewels are there, channi, kakna are jewels that she was wearing, that had to be sold off. Bhagwana parlok chala gaya. Now Bhagwana had gone to the other world. People believe that there are two kinds of world. This is generally in all parts of the world. Where we live is called the world of living, and the other world is called the world of spirits. So a person who dies is supposed to go to the world of spirits. So भगवाना परलोक चला गया. He went to the world of spirits. घर में जो कुछ चूनी भूसी थी, सो उसे विदा करने में चली गई. Whatever small items were there in the house, because they were poor people, they had very few possessions, but all that was sold off in order to complete the death formalities. अब बाप नहीं रहा तो क्या? लड़के सुबह उठते ही भूख से बिलबिलाने लगे. Now even though their father had just died yesterday, life does not stop. The children of the house, when they got up in the morning, they started crying because they were hungry, they wanted food, and they were too young to understand why food was not made or why there was no food in the house. दादी ने उन्हें खाने के लिए खरबूजे दे दिए, लेकिन बहू को क्या दे दी? Now the old woman gave her grandchildren the melons to eat, but what was she supposed to give to her daughter-in-law? She had fever. बहू का बदन बुखार से तवे की तरह तप रहा था. If you touched her body, then it was as hot as a pan kept on the stove, gas stove. अब बेटे के बिना बुढ़िया को दुवन्नी चवन्नी भी कौन उधार देता? Now when there is no son, no young person in the house, nobody would even loan the old woman any money. This is also a trend in society. Whenever when somebody asks for a loan, people generally first thought that comes to anybody's mind is, when will I get my money back? Now if they see that there is someone earning in the family, and they know that if I give this money, then I will get it back one day or the other. However, now that the old woman's son had died, there was no earning member. The woman was old. The bahu, being a woman, could not earn much more. The children were still young, they could not earn. So the people knew that there was no chance of their money being returned. So nobody was willing to loan them even duvanni or chavanni. These duvanni means 2 annas and chavanni means 4 annas. These are old currency names in India. बुढ़िया रोते रोते और आंखें पोंछते पोंछते भगवाना के बटोरे हुए खरबूजे डलिया में समेटकर बाजार की ओर चली. और चारा भी क्या था? Now the old woman was crying continuously, but still she gathered her courage and put the melons in a basket and walked away to the market along with the basket in order to sell them. Anyway, what option did she have? चारा भी क्या था? What option did she have? बुढ़िया खरबूजे बेचने का साहस करके आई थी, परंतु सिर पर चादर लपेटे, सिर को घुटनों पर टिकाए फफक फफक कर रो रही थी. Now the old woman did muster up the courage to come to the market to sell the melons, but all she was doing was all she did was covered her head with a chadar, or that is a sheet, and then rested her head between her knees and was simply sobbing away. कल जिसका बेटा चल बसा, आज वो बाजार में सौदा बेचने चली है, हाय रे पत्थर दिल. The writer is very sympathetic towards the woman. He comments that only yesterday her son has died, and today this woman has to go to the market to earn some money. What a terrible tragedy this is of life, of our society. Patthar dil means stone-hearted. Life is stone-hearted, or you can say the people of our society are stone-hearted, that any woman has to do this. Go to the market to sell something so that their family can survive by having food. So life is stone-hearted, or the society is stone-hearted. उस पुत्र वियोगिनी के दुख का अंदाज़ा लगाने के लिए पिछले साल अपने पड़ोस में पुत्र की मृत्यु से दुखी माता की बात सोचने लगा. Now the writer, when he heard the tragic story of this woman, he compared it with another situation, another woman which had happened in their neighborhood. Another woman's son had also died, but she was from a rich family. So her situation was quite different. वह संभ्रांत महिला पुत्र की मृत्यु के बाद 2.5 मास तक पलंग से उठ न सकी थी. This lady, she did not get up from the bed for 2.5 months. Get up from the bed means she was so ill, or she was so sick with grief that she was not well for 2.5 months. उन्हें 15-15 मिनट बाद पुत्र वियोग से मूर्छा आ जाती थी, और मूर्छा न आने की अवस्था में आंखों से आंसू न रुक सकते थे. Now this woman used to faint every 15 minutes in sorrow of her dead son, and when she was all conscious also, she was continuously crying. There were continuous tears coming from her eyes. दो डॉक्टर हर दम सिरहाने बैठे रहते थे. She had 2 doctors by her bedside all the time in order to give her medicine. हर दम सिर पर बर्फ रखी जाती थी. A slab of ice was kept on her head in order to reduce her fever. शहर भर के लोगों के मन उस पुत्र शोक से द्रवित हो उठे थे. Now anyone in the city who had heard about this, who heard of this woman's story, they were praising her, that look what a mother, she is so sad on the death of her son, and she was praised by all and one. जब मन को सूझ का रास्ता नहीं मिलता तो बेचैनी से कदम तेज हो जाते हैं. When the mind does not find any solution to a problem, then the feet began to walk very fast. This is actually a way of saying that when man is faced with a problem, then the only thing which he cannot solve, when he is faced with a problem which he cannot solve, the first thing that happens, he escapes from it, he runs away from that problem. उसी हालत में नाक ऊपर उठाए राह चलतों से ठोकरे खाता मैं चला जा रहा था. The writer was in the same situation. He could not understand why people were doing this to that old woman from the market, and he thought something somewhere was wrong, but he could not do anything. He could not solve the woman's problem. So he was just walking in a daze, and he also bumped into some people on the way because he was not actually looking where he was going. सोच रहा था, the writer was all the time thinking, शोक करने, in order to mourn or in order to express your grief and sorrow, गम मनाने के लिए, in order to show that you are sad, भी सहूलियत चाहिए. Also, you need time in order to express your grief, in order to show your sorrow, you need time. और दुखी होने का भी एक अधिकार होता है. You also must have the right to be sad. Now, what the writer means to say is that when the poor woman who had lost her son and the rich woman who had lost her son, these two had different experiences. Now, in both the cases, the son had died, and you can imagine how sad a mother must be feeling when she sees her son die in front of her eyes. But the society has different rules for both. For the poor woman, she does not have time to grieve because she cannot afford to lie in bed and be sick for 2 months. And in such a situation, if she goes to the market so that she could sell some melons or vegetables and earn some money so that she could feed the remaining family, that is the grandchildren and the daughter-in-law, then people call her bad names, people insult her. Whereas if the mother is from a rich family, then she is praised for being the ideal mother. So this is the irony of our society. The poor people don't have any rights and they don't have time to grieve, whereas the rich people have time to grieve and they have all the rights.